There exist truths so potent, laws so precise, that the moment a man hears them and chooses to act upon them, his life can be altered in less time than it takes for dawn to break. The shift does not require decades, not even years. It may happen with a swiftness that startles the one who experiences it. Many scoff at this idea. They mutter that no one becomes wealthy in the span of a single night. Yet the record of history stands as witness that great fortunes have erupted as suddenly as a lightning strike. Gates that seemed forever locked have been thrown wide open in a single hour. One choice, one bold command, one definite thought, and a man who lived in want crosses over into a life of abundance. Here lies the great danger. Were I to blurt out the entire principle in one small phrase, most would laugh it off. They would declare it too simple, too easy, too ordinary. And so they wander through life half asleep, hearing truth, but never grasping it, letting it pass by like a ship disappearing over the horizon. So I will not throw the secret into your lap all at once. Instead, I will take you by the hand and lead you step by step until your own mind cannot deny the evidence it sees. And when you finally perceive the truth, you will understand why a few seem almost fated for greatness, while the majority labor endlessly, aging under the same wages, dying with empty pockets. Picture awakening tomorrow with such clarity, such burning determination that chances seek you out, rather than vanish before you arrive. Picture conversations that tilt in your favor, helpers who appear out of nowhere, ideas that bloom in your dreams, and money that flows toward you as if pulled by magnet, all because you have put the law to work. But imagine the opposite. Imagine hearing these words, nodding, feeling inspired, and then returning tomorrow to the same life of boredom, fear, and small wages. That is the penalty for ignoring this truth. It is why the vast majority of men spend their days as slaves to routine, while a very small few command wealth and freedom. This message is your line of division. Before it you have drifted, after it you may claim destiny. Listen with the seriousness of a man whose very future depends upon what he hears, for it does. Most men stumble through existence blind to the principle that governs wealth. They believe riches are a lottery prize, luck, birthright, favor from others. But wealth does not obey luck. It answers only to law, a law as strict as gravity. You may sneer at it, pretend it does not exist, but it remains at work, rewarding those who obey and leaving the rest in chains of wage slavery. Fortunes do not always grow slowly and predictably. Sometimes they appear in a flash. A man may labor for years, and then one day his preparation collides with an opening and everything changes at once. People call it good fortune, but it is law fulfilling itself. Years of persistence, faith, and desire prepare the soil. Then a single choice, a single alliance, a single action brings harvest in an instant. The fortune may appear overnight, but the seeds were planted long before. Consider Edwin C. Barnes. He arrived with no money, no education, no fame, but with a decision so strong it burned within him. He would become a business associate of Thomas Edison. The crowd laughed. He swept floors and ran errands for years, but his mind never drifted. Then came the day when Edison's company needed someone to sell a strange invention that no one else could place. Barnes seized the moment, proved his worth, and in a single stroke crossed the line from obscurity to prosperity. The principle appeared again through Charles Schwab. At a dinner one evening, Schwab gave a fiery talk on the daring future of steel. Andrew Carnegie listened carefully. That single address, one speech on one night, set into motion the creation of United States Steel, the first business in history to be valued at more than $1 billion. Schwab's wealth did not appear by chance. It was the natural effect of definiteness expressed through action. This law is hidden in plain view precisely because it is simple. Men scoff at it because they think that success must be a complicated puzzle reserved for some chosen few. But the truth is plain. Reaches follow clarity of purpose united with belief, imagination, and perseverance. The law never fails, but men fail to recognize it, fail to trust it, fail to act on it. The one who drifts never discovers it. His thoughts are hazy, his wants are weak, his choices postponed. Opportunities pass right before his eyes, but he does not recognize them. He is blind, not because the world is dark, but because his mind sleeps. The law cannot serve such a man, for it responds only to definiteness. Drifting is blindness. Definiteness is sight. Only those who wake up can grasp wealth. One decision, one act, one burning thought united with faith can overturn a lifetime of mediocrity. Barnes did not wait for savings approval or diplomas. He chose, he believed, he acted. Schwab did not ask permission before giving that bold speech. He simply delivered it. Rockefeller did not sit idle until others gave their blessing to his pipeline vision. He built them. Each great fortune started with a single thought brought into alignment with this law. You may still wonder if wealth can truly appear in such a short span. Look carefully at the record of history. Fortunes have exploded into existence in moments. When a new idea was accepted, a handshake completed, a contract signed. But that single moment was preceded by long seasons of invisible preparation. The harvest is sudden, but the sowing has been happening in silence. The law waits patiently, then rewards with lightning speed when it is obeyed. This law is no respecter of persons. It does not bless a man because of his family, nation, or class. It obeys only the one who thinks clearly, believes fully, and persists without surrender. The poor boy in a log cabin, the newcomer with no money, the dreamer without a degree, all have obeyed it and risen. Lincoln, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, all started in obscurity. They climb by law, not by luck. The majority never understand this. They repeat the same days, working for wages, praying for chance, grumbling about fate. They never commit to a clear purpose, never nurture faith, never act boldly. Their lives remain small, not because the law betrayed them, but because they failed to use it. But you may be different. You may awaken this very night to the power that has always been waiting for you. You may choose to write down a definite chief aim, to hold it before your mind until faith grows, to act with a decisiveness that startles those around you. If you do, you will find that chance no longer controls you. You control it. Opportunity will hurry to meet you. Reaches will respond with the speed of sunrise. Speak it with me, I am awake. I am aligned with the law. I am ready for my chance. Repeat until your heart believes it, until your subconscious accepts it, until your actions become unstoppable. This law is everywhere you look, in every story of success, in every man who rose from poverty to power. It is neglected by drifters, mocked by skeptics, but embraced by those who achieve, and once embraced, it acts with certainty. Fortune is not far away, not years in the future. It waits for you this moment, ready to appear. The condition is this, that you must desire fiercely, believe without wavering, decide without retreat, and act without pause. Do this, and riches will be yours. Desire is the foundation. All wealth, freedom, greatness begins there. Not with half-hearted wishing, but with a hunger so strong it pushes out every lesser thought. Weak wishing does nothing. It fades like mist. Burning desire commands life itself. It draws ideas, summons opportunities, ignites the will to act. The man who merely mutters, "I'd like to be rich," will remain poor. His words carry no fire. He waits for chance, envies the successful, and wastes his years. But the man who declares, "I will become rich," and means it with all his heart, sends out a call that the universe cannot ignore. Edison hungered for light. He endured endless failures, but his inner fire never dimmed. Each night he saw victory in his mind. Each day he returned to work. That desire created the electric lamp and made his name immortal. Henry Ford burned with the vision of putting an automobile in every household. Experts mocked him, bankers refused him, but his vision was relentless. Day after day he repeated it, believed it, and labored toward it until the first assembly lines changed the world. Andrew Carnegie, born poor in Scotland, longed to escape the grip of poverty. He worked tirelessly, sought knowledge, and allied with men of influence. His burning desire drove him to build the steel empire that made him one of history's wealthiest men. Vague desires lead nowhere. Men say, "Someday I will be rich." Someday never arrives, but a definite desire acted upon immediately creates riches quickly. Desire must be clear, measurable, specific. "I want more money" is useless. "I will earn $50,000 by this date in exchange for this service" is a command the mind can obey. Write your desire, speak it aloud daily, picture it with feeling. This is not superstition. It is planting a seed in the subconscious which will force action and draw chance your way. Desire must be combined with imagination, with faith, with persistence. Each delay, each defeat must only harden your resolve. The man without desire retreats at the first obstacle. The man with desire becomes unstoppable. Say it again: what I desire, I demand. What I demand, I create. What I create, I persist with until it becomes fact. These are not idle words. They are the mechanism by which the law operates. Faith is the soil where desire takes root. Without faith, desire dies like a seed on stone. With faith, desire becomes a tree that bends the world to its shape. Faith is not something that happens to you. It is cultivated by repetition, by affirmations, by acting as though success is certain until your mind believes it. Faith and fear cannot coexist. One will expel the other. Fear whispers, wait. Faith shouts, act now. The timid postpone until the chance is gone. The man of faith seizes it and wins. Decision is the moment where desire is planted. Until you decide, you are still dreaming. The second you say, I will, your fate begins to move. Indecision is the playground of failure. The world belongs to the one who decides quickly and holds to his decision with firmness. Charles Schwab proved this when his bold speech birthed United States Steel. Barnes proved it when he decided not to be a mere employee but a partner to Edison. Rockefeller proved it when he decided to organize oil. Despite lawsuits and critics, persistence is the force that carries desire, faith, and decision to their completion. Most men stop after the first failure. They surrender, they return to a small life. They excuse themselves by saying, was not meant to be. But those who persist through defeat find that every failure carries the seed of a greater success. Persistence is the hammer that breaks resistance, the pressure that forces life to yield. You must decide tonight that you will no longer drift, no longer postpone. Write down what you will accomplish, by what date, and what price you will pay. Sign it. Speak it aloud. Let that decision become a vow you refuse to break. Repeat until it lives inside you, until hesitation dies and action becomes natural. Persist until the result arrives, and it will, with a swiftness that others will call luck, though you will know it was law. For drifting men remain slaves to fate. Decisive men master it. The law does not fail. It is waiting now, ready to deliver fortune as fast as sunrise. If you will only desire, believe, decide, and persist until victory is yours. The man who bought the abandoned machinery dug a few feet further into the earth and uncovered a fortune. Darby and his uncle had stopped just short of the treasure because they lacked the one ingredient that makes all the difference: perseverance. That junk dealer possessed it, and so the gold became his. Darby learned something priceless from this loss. He later entered the field of insurance and faced refusal after refusal. But he refused to give up, reminding himself of the gold they had missed. That single idea made him a champion salesman and brought him wealth beyond his wildest dreams. Temporary setbacks are not permanent defeats. They are questions life asks you, tests to discover whether you will surrender. When temptation whispers, "Stop now," the answer must be, "I will not stop." The law of life yields to persistence just as metal bends beneath hammer blows. Edison endured thousands of unsuccessful experiments before creating light. His helpers became discouraged, critics jeered, investors turned their backs, yet he pressed forward. Each apparent failure he counted as progress, each obstacle as a stepping stone. In the end, the man who had been mocked was celebrated, and the world remembers his triumph, not his mistakes. His unshakable persistence made his name timeless. Henry Ford faced lawsuits, fires, betrayal, bankruptcy. Each blow could have ended him had he accepted defeat. But he rebuilt, pushed forward, and transformed obstacles into stepping stones. The public saw only the result, not the years of struggle that forced destiny to bow. Persistence is not a talent granted at birth, but a habit developed by consistent action. Every time you push forward when tired, you strengthen the habit. Every time you keep going when others mock you, your will grows harder. Every time you rise from defeat, your character gains armor. Persistence is developed just as muscle grows, through repeated use, through resistance, through effort. Declare, "I will continue until I win. Delay cannot break me. I conquer by staying the course." Speak these words daily. Say them whenever doubt creeps in. Say them after every failure. Your inner mind will eventually obey, and the thought of quitting will stop tempting you. Persistence will become as natural as breathing. The adversary has no power over the man who refuses to lay down his sword. The drifter, on the other hand, starts many things but completes none. He grows weary quickly, allows discouragement to master him, and accepts defeat as permanent. He blames fate, chance, and other men for his misfortune. His failure to persist condemns him to mediocrity, and he becomes a puppet for doubt. His entire life is one retreat after another, one surrender following the next. The master, however, continues forward until he wins. He knows that every loss is temporary, that every hardship hides a lesson, that every difficulty is an opportunity to measure his own strength. He endures, he advances, he presses on. His steady determination wears away resistance, silences critics, and eventually forces fortune to serve him. Persistence is his sword and shield, and with it he cannot be conquered. To build persistence, choose a definite aim and spend 30 days acting on it daily without a single failure. Record what you do. Refuse to miss even one day. By the end of the month, persistence will have been hammered into your nature. You will be carried by momentum and aided by rhythm. Opportunity will appear, for life rewards those who refuse to stop. Rockefeller faced attacks from every direction. He was hated by the press, challenged in the courts, attacked by rivals. But he endured, continued, and grew stronger. His persistence turned opposition into an empire. Carnegie faced betrayal, labor strikes, and ridicule, but he continued until he became the undisputed ruler of steel. Lincoln lost election after election yet, would not quit until he finally became president. Repeat once more, I will continue until I win. Delay cannot defeat me, I conquer by endurance. I cannot be mastered, for I will not quit. Write these words, speak them, live them. Every time you repeat them, your mind becomes harder, your will more unbreakable. Eventually, persistence will be automatic and quitting will become unthinkable. The adversary admitted this truth. Once a person decides to keep going no matter what, he loses them forever. The enemy may throw obstacles, whisper excuses, magnify fear, but if you keep going, he is powerless. Most men belong to him because they give up. The few who refuse to stop escape his grip and rise to greatness. Imagination is the workshop of the mind where desires are shaped, faith is molded, plans are designed, and persistence is given direction. Without imagination, no riches can be built, for every city of stone was first a vision in someone's mind. Every empire was once only a thought. Every fortune that appeared suddenly was born in the imagination of someone who pictured it clearly. Imagination is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. The man without imagination is a prisoner to what already exists. He sees only bills, wages, limitations, and repeats yesterday until he dies. The man with imagination sees what could be and begins to create it. He lives in tomorrow today, and tomorrow bends to his vision. There are two kinds of imagination. Synthetic imagination rearranges old ideas into new forms. It is valuable and necessary. Creative imagination is rarer, and it is through this that hunches, flashes of inspiration, and ideas from infinite intelligence come. Both must be cultivated. The wealthy use both constantly. The poor ignore both and stay bound. Rockefeller imagined oil pipelines when everyone else hauled oil in wagons. Men laughed at him, doubted him, ridiculed his dream, but he pictured it, believed it, and acted until his vision became reality. His imagination made him ruler of energy. Carnegie imagined a system that united every part of steel production, the mines, the mills, the railroads, and brought them under one command. People said it could not be done, but he saw it clearly and acted until it existed. Edison imagined homes lit with electric light and held that vision through thousands of experiments. His assistants saw only failure, but Edison saw steps toward the picture in his mind. Without imagination, he would have died unknown. With it, he lit the world. But imagination misused is slavery. Most men imagine worry, sickness, failure, debt. They rehearse disaster until life delivers it. The adversary delights in this, for he feeds men fearful pictures and they accept them as truth. Their subconscious mind obeys and creates misery. Therefore, imagination must be guarded carefully. Choose what pictures you allow to stay in mind. When fear paints poverty, replace it with wealth. When dread paints failure, replace it with victory. When doubt paints ridicule, replace it with respect. Life obeys the picture that dominates. Spend time daily in silence picturing your definite purpose as if already complete. See the result vividly, hear the sounds, feel the emotions, imagine the surroundings. Live inside that vision until it feels real. Your subconscious will accept it and bring circumstances to match. The man who drifts never imagines boldly. He repeats yesterday's worries, mocks those who dream, envies those who create, and remains chained to his small life. The master imagines grandly, builds his future in thought before building it in stone, and feeds his imagination with desire, faith, decision, and persistence until it becomes his reality. No man rises entirely by himself. The story of the lone self-made hero is a pleasant myth, but false. Every great fortune, every great invention, every empire has been created through cooperation with other minds in harmony. This is the mastermind principle. When two or more minds unite with a definite purpose, a third invisible power comes into being greater than either alone. This power multiplies courage, ideas, and persistence. One person working alone may grow timid or wary, but in the presence of others with the same goal, courage grows and ideas expand. Andrew Carnegie admitted his fortune was not the result of his genius alone, but the collective effort of the brilliant men he gathered around him. Edison surrounded himself with inventive minds that magnified his own genius. Henry Ford gathered mechanical experts, managers, and organizers who turned his vision into vast factories. The drifter avoids such alliances either through envy or fear. He either isolates himself or surrounds himself with complainers and cynics. And this poisons his faith and ensures failure. True mastermind alliances are not merely gatherings of men, but harmonious cooperation toward a definite aim. Discord destroys, jealousy poisons, fear weakens, but faith and trust create a flow of power that forces fortune to obey. Seek out men of courage, of faith, of definite aim. Unite with them. Exchange strengths. Build harmony deliberately. Meet regularly. Hold one another accountable to persist. Carnegie had little technical knowledge himself, but drew experts who had it and blended them into one unstoppable force. Lincoln filled his cabinet with rivals, but united them toward a single purpose, and together they preserved a nation. The subconscious mind is the faithful but uncritical servant of man. It never questions, never rests, and never argues. It creates whatever is impressed upon it with repetition and emotion. Whether fear or faith, failure or fortune, it accepts and acts. Most people fill it with fear and drifting thoughts, and it obediently produces chains, poverty, and defeat. The wise man carefully guards what he plants within it, feeding it desire, faith, and purpose daily until these thoughts become habit. Autosuggestion is the method by which you program the subconscious. By speaking words with emotion and picturing them clearly, you engrave them upon your inner mind. Speak them morning and night. Speak them until belief is certain. Life will arrange itself to match. Before sleep, repeat your definite aim aloud, picture it vividly, feel its reality, and sleep with that picture in mind. Your subconscious will work through the night, sending inspiration, courage, and guidance. Repeat again upon waking, planting the seed for the day. Guard your thoughts carefully. The subconscious cannot tell truth from falsehood, only what is repeated with emotion. If you feed it fear, it creates fear. If you feed it faith, it creates faith. The drifter speaks of poverty and misfortune and receives them. The master speaks of riches and courage and receives them. Overnight success is never truly overnight. It is the result of years of preparation that finally burst forth like water breaking a dam. Barnes dreamed for years of working with Edison before the opportunity appeared. Schwab had imagined his great speech before it gave birth to United States Steel. Ford pictured his assembly line long before it transformed industry. The crowd sees only the sudden transformation and calls it luck, but it is law faithfully obeyed. Write your definite chief aim. Speak it aloud every morning and night. Imagine it clearly, decide firmly, persist daily, unite with allies, command your subconscious with faith. This is the work of preparation. Then when the moment arrives, you will be ready, and in a single day, your life will be transformed. The crowd will call it miracle. You will know it as the inevitable harvest of law. Say it now. The law is mine. My destiny is mine. My riches are mine. I am master. Repeat until your very soul believes. Act daily until your life proves it. Then one day you will cross the line from drifter to master, from obscurity to greatness, from bondage to freedom. The world will wonder, but you will know the truth. You obeyed the law, and life had no choice but to obey you.